the Tesla Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive. If you didn't know, it's a formidable car, and I say that from both traditional media reviews and from personal experience. It's banged with tech and with a generally buttery smooth software experience that its rivals wished it had. They sadly lag behind, pun intended. Definitively, this could be the car, though, that changes your whole perspective on how you view electric cars and how the needs and requirements of most drivers today are present and available in the very car, and particularly fleet drivers. Now, if your ears have pricked with excitement, the first thing you probably want to know as an electric car is the max range the sedan has to offer. So, how does 436 WLTP miles sound to you? That's about the same as a brand new petrol Mercedes C-Class. Yes, that new equivalent efficient petrol alternative has a higher price tag too in both the US and the UK. And that is just a snippet of what this Tesla Model 3 has to offer. But does it charge slow? Are the finance offers even competitive? What's the catch, Adam? Well, there isn't many, to be honest, but if you have around 10 minutes spare, I will address swiftly and precisely just why this rear-wheel drive long-range Tesla Model 3 should be a consideration for your next car and even potentially your first EV. So if this video sounds like an interesting insight, please buckle up, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and finally hit the notification bell. Right, let's waste no time and let's get straight into it. So to kickstart matters, the figure that everyone looks at first, no matter what carrot is dangled in front of them, is how much range can this vehicle do? It's hugely important for any vehicle that you buy. As I've highlighted before, the rear-wheel drive Tesla Model 3 long range is rated at 436 miles WLTP. Your initial thought may be, well, that's not nearly enough, Adam. You need 500 or 600 miles before you need to recharge, right? But actually, for most people, not in all cases, before you hand me in the comments, you don't need 436 miles every single day. And I think you probably know that. That range hesitation is simply down to your petrol car owning habits. But what does that even mean? Well, at a more extreme level, data from the US Federal Highway Agency states that the average annual mileage in gigantic America is around 13,500 to 14,500 miles. Now, that really dwarfs the UK's measly 7,000 miles per annum. But at that 13,500 miles figure, if you convert that to a weekly figure, that's equivalent to driving 260 miles a week. And for most people, they actually have off-road parking at home, and so they have access to home charging facilities, even via your typical plug home socket will do. So every night, though you'll probably find yourself doing it every other night, you can just top up your battery just like you do with, say, your AirPods or your smartphone. Ask any other EV driver that you know. I can pretty much guarantee that they will say how convenient it is to charge from home, even at their place of work, paid for by their boss. Anyway, back on point to round this point off, you don't go from 436 miles remaining to single digits like you would do in a traditional petrol motor. You just charge when you aren't going anywhere, and you will practically have almost full battery at your disposal unless you're road tripping and you need to supercharge, which is 6% of the year for me. At 250 kilowatts max peak speed, it's one of the fastest charging Teslas that you can own in the rear-wheel drive Tesla Model 3 long range. Moving on to financing and pricing, if you are hesitant to even consider the Tesla Model 3 because EVs are hella expensive, in the US, how much does a base Tesla Model 3 actually cost you to buy? Well, if you're buying from new, $42,490, without the now expiring $7,500 tax credits or $349 per month to lease. In the UK, current advertised PCP rates are as low as £349 per month with 0% APR, and you can even on occasion grab a cheaper demo version in the inventory tab, but stocks are limited, so you have to be on your toes for that additional discount. But you can just grab yourself £500 off via a referral link like mine in the video description below that you can use for supercharging mileage, which is aka free long-range trip fuel, I guess. As all car finance, 0% APR finance rates are time limited, as are the leasing deals on offer. But most of all, for US buyers, that US tax credit is due to expire, so something worth considering before it does disappear for sure. But ultimately, however you buy your 2025 Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive long range, whether that be leasing or even via your business, rates are very competitive and generous for the spec that is on offer. And I'm talking about spec and why buy it in the first place. So let's discuss that now. Okay, Adam, so far you told me range isn't just in my head and it costs lower than initially thought. But tell me why I shouldn't just buy another petrol car. Well, it's probably the biggest question of them all. I personally believe that you should actually just buy this car on merit alone. Forget about the environmental factors, don't even think about it. If you are buying a car, firstly, you'd want a pleasurable driving experience. You'd want crazy light maintenance requirements because being stuck in a garage is no fun for anyone. And we know that's quite a painful experience, and especially for your back pocket. Finally, generally, you'd want something freakishly cheap to run, and this car ticks all those boxes. It's a freak of nature for doing so. Firstly, the instant torque, it doesn't falter with age of the vehicle. The beauty of power on demand is that taking the nippy approach is highly addictive and it doesn't seem to fall away with the length of ownership. Don't get me wrong, 0 to 60 for the rear-wheel drive long-range Tesla Model 3 isn't a time-to-use setter, but just day-to-day, its electric DNA means 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds still feels incredibly fast for everyday usage, should I say so. The gearless automatic experience means driving is seamlessly smooth and the regenerative braking is unrivaled compared to a petrol motor. It's actually addictive to rely on the regenerative braking, as taking your foot off the accelerator is typical behaviour when you want to slow down. So it's probably going to be faster to accelerate, and this new Tesla Model 3 handles incredibly well, particularly as there isn't a second motor on the front axle, so turning feels particularly nippy, should we say. And together with the new suspension setup that they have, need I say more? Effectively, just because your day-to-day car will be electric doesn't mean that you do drive a milk float. Respectfully, it is going to be a different experience to driving a petrol car, but different does not necessarily mean bad. It's still exhilarating, and I'd highly recommend taking a test drive if you're doubtful of the claim, and you will see exactly what I mean. Finally, before I conclude matters, what is the hype around the Tesla Model 3? Well, I cannot stress every Tesla is a Tesla experience, even the rear-wheel drive long-range Tesla Model 3. It has the biggest range and it's one of the cheapest new Teslas that you can actually buy. But beyond that, what is a Tesla experience? For me, it's truly a new age of driving experience. I already detailed the day-to-day driving changes like regen braking and the instant torque, the gearless experience, but it's the whole package that takes it head and shoulders above everything else, such as keyless entry. I consistently use my iPhone in my pocket as the keyless entry that auto unlocks and locks and starts the car without touching the phone. There's no requirement for me to drag a separate card or a separate wireless fob around to achieve that. I then have a unique 4-digit PIN to start driving the Tesla, making it incredibly secure from thieves. Talking about security, we have Sentry Mode and built-in dashcam, both of which have been paramount in our previous insurance claims, even down to the phone app functionality. It's feature-packed and it works seamlessly. I know other brands have their own version, but frankly, most are like Microsoft Paint compared to Photoshop. Loads of functionality and a buttery smooth experience. To finish off a defining feature, it has to be the free over-the-air updates. This does nothing but enhance the ownership experience even further every few months. I'm yet to find someone that actually does disagree that over-the-air updates are a bad thing to have in a vehicle. So to conclude, the Tesla Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive is the entry-level Tesla offering in the US and worth the premium in the UK if you want the extra range over the rear-wheel drive. But as you've just learned, this new Tesla Model 3 delivers that highly anticipated Tesla experience, from range, driving experience to software features. At current prices, especially in the US, the value it has to offer is simply too good to not even get a test drive. Try it out, see if the hype is real. If it is, you will then own a car that does not require annual servicing at a garage, and you will own a car that actually cost me around £200 on electric to drive 16,000 miles in my old Tesla Model 3. And as I said before, it's a freak of nature. I think without a shadow of a doubt, this cheap Tesla EV has credible specs and it's priced to be your next new car. So what do you folks think? Are you still hesitant? And if so, why? Or do you already own the long-range rear-wheel drive Tesla Model 3? And if so, what was the pull factor for you? If you got this far in the video, don't forget to take a look at the links in the video description. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already. You think something great, and I'll see you in the next one.